Steven Allen Spielberg, one of the most famous men in the history of Hollywood, and the film industry for that matter, along the likes of Alfred Hitchcock, Walt Disney, George Lucas, and so many more. Over the years, his films have become iconic with popular culture and general audiences, capturing the imagination of people like you and me. Some of the most famous and influential movies in history were directed by Steven Spielberg. Jurassic Park, Jaws, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and of course, Schindler's List, which surprisingly was released in the same year as Jurassic Park. The more you learn, right? Now, Steven didn't just become a film director just for the heck of it. His interests in filmmaking and video production were clearly visible when he was young. In Cincinnati, Ohio, Steven Allen Spielberg was born December 18, 1946, to Arnold Meyer and Leah Spielberg. He was the eldest son of the Spielberg family and the only boy. His interest in movies began when he first saw the film The Greatest Show on Earth, directed by Cecil B. DeMille. This film was the first Steven Spielberg recalled ever seeing, and cemented his love for filmmaking. Soon, when he was around 8 or 9 years old, he began to shoot family events and other rendezvous with a small, primitive 8mm camera. When he got bored of just shooting video, Steven started to make short films with actors, a script, and some special effects here and there. Nothing too special about them. His first break into the film industry was when he made his first 40-minute long film, The Escape to Nowhere, and showed it off at film festivals in 1961. He was 13 at the time. After finishing production on Escape to Nowhere and showing it off at film festivals, he began to work on other short films. Those were Firelight in 1964 and Amblin in 1968. An associate at Universal Studios saw the last film on the list. They liked it so much that they ended up going up to Spielberg, who was at the time studying at the University of Long Beach, California, and gave him a contract. This was his first significant break into the film industry, and led him to be the director of several episodes of television shows. His major second break was when he was allowed to direct a straight-to-television film. He ended up making a film called Duel, which received moderate success. The TV film was well received and well liked by audiences for its action. This film's success led Spielberg to direct his first theatrically released film, which surprisingly wasn't Jaws. In fact, it was called The Sugarland Express, a drama film, which also received some positive reviews from general audiences, though he was still pretty small in the film industry and didn't have his major significant breakthrough yet. His next film was Jaws, which had one of the most troubled productions of any film at that time. When production finally started, the animatronic sharks, which were supposed to be used throughout the film, ultimately failed to start to move, with one of them sinking to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. They had been previously tested in freshwater, which worked well enough. Though, when they put them out to sea, everything fell apart. Production was only supposed to last 55 days at max. They ended up shooting the entire film in 159 days. Steven was pretty nervous at that time, thinking that his filmmaking career would end right there before it ever got off the ground. But when the film finally released in theaters on June 20th, 1975, the film became an incredible success, far more than Spielberg or even Universal Studios expected. When the film stopped showing in theaters, the film had grossed over $47 million, small for today's terms but big back then, and became the first summer blockbuster. This one film cemented Steven's talent for filmmaking and his future. Since his breakthrough, Steven Spielberg has directed a total of 32 movies today, with West Side Story being his most current project. Some of the most influential and highly regarded films he has made are the more famous ones like Jurassic Park, which is so highly regarded because of its themes, characters, and because it has dinosaurs in it. E.T. was also another success, and you can probably guess why. However, Steven doesn't make perfect movies one after another. His record does have several blunders in them. After all, nobody is perfect, we're all human. The Color Purple was a major box office bomb directed by Spielberg, which became controversial over the years on how Steven handled the message. Some people say that The Lost World Jurassic Park is another blunder, but that's really up to the viewers. There was also Close Encounters with the Third Kind, which now is regarded as a classic, but back then was considered a box office bomb and a failure. These few movies are just the tip of the iceberg of movies made by Spielberg, which didn't end up like his classics. To this day, Steven Spielberg is directing at 75 years old. His most recent project was West Side Story, which was released in theaters December 10th, 2021. While not directing as much anymore, he still has heavy involvement in franchises he started, like Jurassic Park, which is still thriving to this day. Over Steven's journey, we've seen him use his talents in filmmaking to get where he is now. From his record and his life, I have to say, Steven Spielberg is one of the most talented men in Hollywood.